She'll usually sit over here.
Good evening. This is the Dudley Conservation Commission, February 9th, 2022. I'll start the meeting at 6:07. We're gonna bump down to the meeting minutes for January 19th.
I've read them, and I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented. Second.
A motion's been made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes for January 19th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question.
Yes.
Is this being recorded, is the Zoom portion being recorded for cable as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, the audio is.
Yes.
The audio is.
The audio.
Okay, because I would have just recorded it and sent you recording if necessary, but if it's being recorded for cable, then it's not necessary.
Okay. Next is the review of the tree removal authorization application. Has everybody looked at it?
Right.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I went down and looked at the site. I don't have an issue with what is on this application. Everything that is expressed on here is accurate. I did double check the DEP maps just to make sure. There is no rare species habitats. The floodplain does not extend on the property. Nothing like that. So you should be in good shape.
Is he talking about?
Okay, Matt, I was talking about the application. You were talking about 160 Pierpont Road?
Which one are you talking about?
I was talking about the application. The authorization application, tree removal for a minor project.
Yeah. Yeah, 160 Pierpont Road.
No.
Nope. The actual application.
We were presented with an application at the last meeting, and there was a minor change, and we need to just approve it tonight.
Yeah, we're approving the application
Correct.
paper.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking at, the application.
Okay.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the tree removal minor project authorization application form as submitted.
A motion's been made and seconded to accept the application for tree removal, minor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, let's mix up.
No problem.
That's good. Oh, they're back to back.
Then nobody's here for the tree removal.
There's him.
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, I'm just gonna sit here, okay.
Okay, so now we'll go to the continuation of the notice of intent for 40 Fish Road, Jonathan Angelevich. Hold Mary Ann.
Okay, I thought you were gonna put her last.
Nobody else is here.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
I'm here representing Verizon Wireless and their application at 55 Dudley, Oxford Road.
Okay. Let's go with you then.
All right, great.
It's a notice of intent. I'll open the meeting at 6:13.
This one and this one, and we're on number 5.
You may go ahead.
Oh, we're doing the Verizon.
If you could give me share rights for my screen, I can kind of go through a brief presentation with some of the exhibits we submitted in our NOI package.
You're speaking Greek to me.
Hold on a second, Dean. I can do that from here. It's my account, so.
All right, great. Thanks, Matt.
So we did this
I
one.
don't understand
Did the
what you
minutes.
said. When you said something like that.
That's all right. Dean and I have done this before. We've worked in a few different towns together, so.
So we're
Dean, it's all yours whenever you're ready.
Great, thanks, Matt.
What'll happen, George, is you'll see his plans on the view screen for the Zoom.
Okay.
All right, so I believe you should be seeing the presentation. It's the first page of the project site plans, Verizon Wireless.
Okay.
So, good evening. My name is Dean Gustafson. I'm a senior wetland scientist with All Points Technology. I'm here tonight on behalf of Cellco Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless. Verizon's proposing a wireless telecommunications facility on property identified as 55 Dudley Oxford Road. It's owned by Eric Jacobson, and it's currently developed with a commercial scale solar facility. Verizon's proposing a 154-foot monopole tower that's surrounded by a 50 by 50 gravel-based compound. And I will step through some of the plans and materials that were submitted as part of our notice of intent application, further describing the proposed activities. So this figure depicts the wetland resources that are located on the subject property in proximity to the proposed Verizon project. Just for orientation, this is Dudley Oxford Road down the bottom, Eastbrook Pond. This is the existing commercial scale solar facility, and this is the existing access road, crosses over the outlet stream from Easterbrook Pond, and then continues around, providing access to the solar facility. So Verizon's proposed activities are located outside of any jurisdictional wetland resource areas or associated buffer zones. We have the perennial stream outfall from Easterbrook Pond that kind of flows to the northeast, that flows into a bordering vegetated wetland system located on the adjoining parcel to the east that's also owned by Mr. Jacobson. And then there's an isolated land subject to flooding resource that we identify as wetland 2 that's located just to the west of the proposed tower, which is highlighted in yellow here. Verizon's proposing a 12-foot wide gravel access drive through the existing field, kind of circumventing around the commercial solar facility and then making its way up to a relative high point on the property behind the solar facility. The activities that are really the main reason why we're here before the commission and filed the notice of intent is associated with an above ground utility line route that'll follow the north side of the existing access road and cross over the perennial stream. It'll require 3 utility poles installed fairly close to the existing gravel road shoulder, and those would be located within the 200-foot riverfront area associated with the perennial stream that outlets from Easterbrook Pond. That overhead run does require through the riverfront area, particularly the inner 100 feet of the riparian zone, some limited clearing for the aerial run and to provide required safety clearances to that utility line. And that will require removal of 6 ash trees. So I'm just going to go through some of the other plan sheets. This is one of the site plans that kind of shows similar information that I just showed you on the aerial photograph. What's highlighted in green are the bordering vegetated wetland resource to the east, isolated vegetated wetland to the west. Perennial stream is highlighted with blue, the bank resource that was flagged, and then the associated 100-foot buffer zone or inner riparian zone is in this orange coloration, and the 200-foot riverfront area is in this red highlight. This just shows further detail for the proposed gravel access road located outside of any of the resource or buffer zones. And then this is really the the focus of our regulated activities is this above ground utility pole and aerial run that goes through the riverfront area. These features right here are the three proposed utility poles. These will be owned and installed by National Grid. We've included some erosion control measures around each location. That's highlighted by these dark lines. This kind of surround the sides of the proposed poles. And then the aerial run is highlighted here going across the brook and the inner riparian zone. The 6 trees that require removal are all ash trees in decline. One is actually dead. This one right here that's closer to the road shoulder. They conflict with the overhead utility run based on a utility walk with National Grid last month, and they're noted here. Although it's fairly small number of trees that are being removed, we've been fairly conservative in our estimate on the amount of alteration to the riverfront area. We've estimated approximately 4,100 square feet would be altered. That work, the tree removal work associated with that, would all be done by hand. If there's any equipment support needed, such as a crane or picker, that would be staged on the existing gravel road. There would be no equipment allowed within the existing vegetated riverfront area. We've calculated the total riverfront area on the property at over 200,000 square feet. We're altering only about 2% of it, so we're compliant with the Wetland Protection Act regulations associated with work within the riverfront area. We are proposing to provide some improvements to the riverfront area. For the 4,100 square feet of alteration, we're proposing at 8,500 square feet enhancement area. This forested segment of the riverfront area close to the existing gravel road, the understory is dominated by invasive shrub species. So we're proposing to remove those invasive shrub species and replant with native shrubs such as serviceberry, black chokeberry, gray dogwood, and nannyberry. That will provide improvements to the functions of the riverfront area, particularly for wildlife habitat function. So we feel that the project properly complies with both your bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act regulations, and the mitigation that we're providing more than offsets the minimal amount of activity we have within the riverfront area. And so with that, Mr. Chairman, I would hand it back over to you, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Matt, you have any questions?
No, I mean, I went out, we got another solar project nearby that's just getting started, so I went out and took a look at this one too. My comments are that it's a very well thought out project. I especially like the added touch of the invasives removal. I mean, he's right, it's invasive heaven over there. I particularly like the shrub selection that was chosen. Surprisingly enough, Dean, I don't see a lot of people propose nannyberry, and I wish I'd see it a lot more. I haven't seen it very commonly proposed on shrub replacements, but I think what you're proposing over there is perfect for the soils types that are there. I don't have any. I thought the wire placement, the road placement, everything was very thoughtfully laid out. So I know there's no DEP number, but DEP may have a few technical comments that aren't of any consequence to this file. If you guys wanted to close the hearing based on, DEP not having any comments, and then just sign off on the order later, I don't have an issue with that. Now, I know that, the past practice has been to wait until we get a DEP number, but DEP has been very, very overbooked. So sometimes they wind up on a slow path. That's really all I have.
Okay, any other board members have any questions?
Seems like it's pretty well as, like Matt said, pretty well thought out, pretty well laid out.
We have an abutter, two abutters.
Well, there's others, but they're not.
Could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Glenn Rice, 53 Dudley Oxford Roads. My property immediately borders the property in concern. The question I have for the committee is to think about the actual impact as the development of this land has a direct impact on the pond itself and the levels of the pond, which have risen over the past 5 years since I have owned the property. That was following the installation of the solar fields that are located in that area. I purchased my property after that fact, but I would be opposed to any further development of the site because the impact, even though it looks good on paper and seems to have all the right approach being proposed, does not address the ongoing concerns that I have as a landowner and a butter of the property, because my property is being impacted by the rising level. And that's to speak nothing to the, in terms of the cell tower itself. I'm not saying anything about that. I would be opposed to that as well, but my concerns are for the impact on the development of the land and the pond that is adjacent to my property. Thank you.
Okay, so your property is,
Where?
Number 53, so the line that shows that was a property line in the overhead aerial view that was shown, that is
Yep.
my property.
Yeah, right next.
so are you bordering Easterbrook Pond itself?
My property backs up to Easterbrook Pond, yes.
Okay,
So
so
which one is 53? I think it's on this side, correct?
which one is this one, or this one?
It's
It's one of the newer homes, correct?
That's correct. There are two newer homes. My neighbor is in the other one. She's right here.
Okay,
Okay.
so from the farmhouse, you're the first one or the second one?
I am the first one from the farmhouse, so immediately to the left of the farmhouse.
Okay, okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yes, of course.
This is him, so the pond's right behind him. Oh, okay. It's the wetlands.
So, your main issue is that, you're saying that the water level has raised?
The water level has risen, and it's actually caused the erosion of some of the properties on the far side of the pond. My property, or down near the property line, is wet. It was not wet when I first purchased that. It was actually a mowable property, and can't even get close to it now without stepping in water that's as much as a foot deep in places.
Okay,
There is some sort of a dam near the roadway, as I understand, and that
beaver
is-
dam?
No, some sort of a overflow where the water flows into that stream and drains from the pond, as was illustrated on in the presentation, and that backs up because it doesn't drain properly. When the road was put in, I understand that the drainage was not, even though it seems like it was sufficient, from what I understand, it actually is not, so that the pond level is higher. If anyone were to walk out there, it'd be very easy to see the nature of the concerns. And again, it's the further development of that particular parcel that has caused me such concern.
Okay, because what they're proposing is to just putting 3 telephone poles.
Yes, I recognize that. It's just the ongoing development of
Yeah.
property that was once farmland, and that's, again, a separate issue. I realize, and this is conservation, so I'm trying to speak especially to those matters.
Yep.
I don't know what the process is as far as approval, if this is the only approval that's necessary, or if there's planning board approval that's required as well for this.
I do not know that answer.
Okay.
I believe that it does have to go through planning board.
That's fine. That's why I'm trying to speak to what is pertinent to your role and
Yeah.
not cross over that line.
The engineer, could I talk to the engineer for a second?
Well, yeah, I'm not an engineer, but I'm familiar with the project. So,
Okay.
as far as the concern about the pond level being higher, you know, this project is the existing access road, you know, crosses over the stream, the outlet stream from the pond. Based on our observations during the delineation, that culvert does not seem to be obstructing the flows. We're also, during construction, we'll also protect that culvert so that we don't disturb that in any way. We'll put a steel plate over it, you know, as the tower is constructed, you know, with construction equipment. So I don't think the project is going to have any effect at all on the water level of Easterbrook Pond. I'm not handling the planning board approval, but I am in contact with the project team.
So it does have to
and
go
their
before.
attorney, and it does have to go through planning board approval.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
And I will pass along the gentleman's, you know, comments and concerns to the project team for what it's worth.
okay, so the only thing that we're discussing is the 3 telephone poles.
And I personally don't understand how that's gonna, how the water level, how that's gonna affect the rising water levels.
I don't think it would.
I mean, my pond's rising water level.
That's what they had said with the.
Right, when they put the road,
We have lost, my well is right there, we've lost the whole wall, you can't even walk in our backyard. My well.
could you please come up and say your name?
Does she have pictures?
Cheryl Hogan, I own 51 Dudley Oxford Road. I have 2 acres there. I'm right next to Glen. That's my main concern as well. Since the solar's been put in, I bought the house in 2014. And it was great until the solar, you know, they built whatever they did. There's major concerns. My well had almost collapsed because of the water. All our trees are gone. It's kind of everything. All the trees are ruined. I don't know what's causing it. Also, the factor of looking out our window to have a cell tower and the, you know, it's just affected my property value. And I'm a taxpayer. The solar was one thing. We have to look at it at both sides. They were supposed to plant trees. It's turning into a nightmare, you know? A beautiful piece of land is being torn up for all this, you know? And I just don't know who has the last say. What can I do to fight it? I really don't know. Maybe I'm
The
looking for you.
planning board would be the one to
Okay.
talk to. I
Right.
mean, right now,
I mean, do they vote on these things to
Yes.
where we have a say, the neighbors?
Yes.
If I got more neighbors together, a lot of neighbors wanted to come, they're sick. So how would we go about this I know it's good for the town, I know,
you need to talk to to the town planner. He probably could assist you in a direction to go.
how to move further.
Right.
Okay, so tonight, you ladies and gentlemen, would be voting on this to approve it? You're fine with it? What about conservation?
This is
You know.
conservation.
Yes, but I thought that was conservation land. It's not, you guys don't, you're fine with all that?
No, it's agricultural.
Oh, okay. I thought it said wetlands on the paper that he was trying to
Yeah,
get a
but
conservation.
they're talking about putting 3 telephone poles in.
Right,
yeah.
and a major cell tower that we'd have to.
That's not in the wetlands.
The cell tower is outside the wetlands. It's out of our jurisdiction.
Right, but what I'm saying, the 3 telephone poles are for that solar tower,
Right.
right? Which, health-wise, I don't like it. I mean, I have a lot of concerns about it. Not only
That-
for my property value, look out my window, I already got panels of solar everywhere, you know? As a taxpayer, what do I do, you know?
You need to discuss all this with the planning board.
Okay, so
Because
do
they're the licensing authority.
I see. So do I set up a meeting? How does that happen? Is there a
They
meeting?
will have a meeting.
Right.
And they should notify all the abutters.
Right, okay. So us as taxpayers really don't have much say, or
Oh, yeah, because they're gonna ask for input.
do I have to get attorney? Could you
You-
direct me on this stuff?
I'm the wrong person
Okay,
to.
all right, all right.
My suggestion is you call the town planner and ask him for assistance.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he'll set you in the right direction.
right.
Is it 8014?
I can give you the phone number.
Okay, great, because it's, right now, the way it's set up, I mean, him and I, we already have to look at solar in the back, in the front, we have beautiful pieces of property, and now we're gonna have a mega cell tower right out our backyard. It's basically up and set up, it looks to you like it's up on a hill, but you look right out and it's gonna be a major nightmare,
Right.
you know? I mean, I don't know, just as yourself, as landowners, would you like that in your backyard? Never mind the solar, you know? So that would be my concern, that, the water table, the environment. I don't know about any health issues with a tower as close to us.
What number were you again?
I'm 51,
51.
Cheryl Hogan, Cheryl with an S. So they will be sending a letter prior to this, is that what you're saying, the town planning? Or should I just call them myself?
I would call them, but I'm 90% sure that if there's a meeting,
Thank you.
all the abutters have to be notified.
Okay, so there is a meeting, I mean, they can't just pass this, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we do have a little bit to say as taxpayers, right?
Correct.
But you're absolutely right.
Yep.
All right, very good
I'm
then.
more worried about the traffic.
I tried to reach the gentleman that was on this paper to get some more information, to no avail, so. I don't know.
Whose name's on that?
The name that was on the. Mr. Gustafson, the name that was on the paper that we received. Just to
Okay.
get some information, you know, I would
Yep.
like to have a packet myself to see what's what.
I can send it to you.
Can you? Thank you.
See with the water issues with the previous project in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so, I mean,
Matt.
we can't mow our lawns, we can't, due to the water, since the solar, it's running off down there, it's caused a major problem since that road.
I've never heard of any.
Yeah, you go take a ride
No,
up, I'm the
I mean,
house
no
with
one's,
all the solar
no one's
on
come
top.
before this board and said anything up until today.
Really? Oh,
I've
it's
never heard of
bad.
any
Yeah.
issues.
I called the town, my well almost collapsed, I had someone there, we can't even walk in our backyard.
Matt,
Yes, George.
have you heard or received any complaints
Right here.
on East
No.
Brook Pond?
She's even
No.
closer this way.
Oh, yeah, I complained all last year, I called the town,
Who'd you call in the town?
the town, whoever they directed me to. I have no idea, it's at home on a paper, but I spoke to the town, you know, I didn't wanna make a complaint on Eric, but I just told him my concerns. They
Yep.
had someone come up, actually, to check it out, all our trees are dead, you walk into our yard, it goes up, you know, it's bad. And that's all my land, you know, my taxes is almost $6,000 a year, and I can't even walk in my backyard.
Matt, can you swing over there and look at the issue that she's complaining about? See if there is,
Yeah, I can do that.
Somebody
as far
has
as the
been
drainage
there.
goes, or if there's a beaver dam, or it's clogged, or,
Yeah, I can do that, George.
All
right.
all the trees are dead, thank you.
can you tell me a time?
Not at the moment. I have to be cleared first to be able to go back out in the wild.
Okay,
So
all
it'll be sometime next week.
right,
I think he's been
I'll
by.
communicate with you on that.
that'd be great.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just one additional question for clarification, while we have the opportunity for more information. The height of the cell tower itself is 154 feet. Is there some explanation as to the actual elevation of that part of the property on which that 154-foot tower is going to be erected? Just
That
so
would be with the planning board.
that's going to all be planning board. Okay,
Yep.
great, thank you.
The only thing that we're talking about right now is those 3 telephone
I
poles.
didn't know if you had that information for our purposes.
Our own
Okay, thank you.
jurisdiction.
Nope.
Do you want to close the public meeting?
Excuse me?
Close the public hearing and vote, or how do you want to continue?
Vote pending the no comments or no significant issues from the DEP.
Right.
We can close the hearing.
Okay. I will close the hearing at 7:37. 6:37. I saw the 7. Okay, someone want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve this notice of intent pending no DEP comments once the DEP number is issued, and that we would then sign, pending no comments, no significant comments, we would then sign off on this.
I'll second it.
A motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Did you give them the number for the town planner?
Yes, she did.
So you need to talk to them, the town planner. He'll assist you any way he can. He's a great guy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next is the continue.
Thank you, folks. Have a good night.
Thank you.
19.
Next is a continuation of notice of intent for 40 Fish Road, Jonathan Angelevich.
Did they get the number? Did they get the DEP? No?
No. So, well, Matt said to continue it. Don't sign it. I mean, close it, vote on it, but don't sign it.
So the same thing as we just did.
All right,
Yeah, if you want to give Mary in a minute, I just sent her a note.
okay.
While we're waiting for her, did you want to do 160 Pier Point, considering I've already
Yes,
Yeah.
kind of commented on it?
yep,
Again, as I said, I have no issues with the application. I just checked to make sure there weren't any surprises on the layers, rare species, habitats, etc. So I don't have any issue with what's proposed there. Everything, all the information on there is accurate, so I'm good with it.
okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we, I gotta find my place here, that we grant the, approve the tree removal for 160 Pierpont Road.
Second. A motion's been made and seconded, to remove, an oak tree, or 3 oak trees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
What about Progress Avenue?
Okay, next on the agenda is,
Number 2, Progress Avenue.
it says 0.
I know. I don't know what number it is, but
0 oh, I'm sorry. Mary Ann?
Yes,
All right, we're ready for you now.
okay, 40 Fish Road?
Yes.
no, we just did that, didn't we?
No,
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we
No.
did.
No,
No.
it's a public hearing,
nope.
number 1.
We're waiting on a
What did
comment
we
from
do?
that.
What did we just approve? 2?
We just did the tree removal for 160 Pier
Okay,
Point.
okay, gotcha. I'm getting confused here. Oh, it's not a single.
Yeah. Okay, so,
I had given my comments at the last meeting.
yep,
They haven't changed. I know we were still waiting for a DEP number. I don't know, if you guys want to approach it the same way you did the last one, pending any DEP comments.
yep.
Do we have to open the public hearing at all?
Okay, I'll open the public hearing at, thank you,
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
at
6:41.
6:41. Thank you. Okay, someone make a motion.
I make a motion to issue the notice of intent for 40 Fish Road, with
Order of condition.
order of condition, okay? With the, how shall I word that?
With our
With,
approval,
with our approval, with the condition that we get the DEP number?
we get the DEP, pending no significant DEP comments,
Okay, so,
once the DEP number is issued, correct?
Right.
And we will sign it later.
and, so be, thank you.
I wrote it down, that's why I did.
Okay, a motion's been made
Second?
and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I close the public hearing.
Have a good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay easy, Marion.
Right.
Okay, next on the agenda is Zero Progress Ave, Westcott Custom Homes LLC. Construction of a single-family home, approximately a quarter of the western backside of the house is in the 100-foot buffer zone. No DEP number yet.
Thank you.
Matt, have you looked at this?
Yes, I have. I also have it up on my screen too, in case anyone wanted to look at it from the screen.
Okay. Have you any issues with
So-
it?
No, I went out and I looked at the wetland delineation. I don't have any issue with it. It seems like a fairly standard notice of intent that complies with state specs and local bylaw. When you see my hand, basically my cursor waving, if you're looking at the screen, that's your no-touch setback, so it meets that. Your 100-foot wetland buffer zone is here. It appears to meet that. Grading for the backyard is minimal. A lot of space left in between. I don't see any issues with it. I think a standard order will cover this one quite nicely.
Okay, with the same caveat that we're not gonna sign it until we get a DEP number.
Yep, again, I don't see them as having any comments on this. Everything is in there, the erosion control, it's very minor outer buffer zone work. Summit, if you're there, nice job. Nice job on the plans.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
All right, I think that we'll just keep it consistent. I don't think that we should sign off on it until we get the DEP number and make sure there is no comments.
Correct. I so moved.
Second,
But we can vote on it
Correct.
if you wanna.
we did.
No, we didn't. We just, I said so moved. She seconded it. But
You have to say the whole
say
thing.
the whole thing, okay. Make a motion that we approve the Progress Ave, Westcott Custom Homes, notice of intent or order of conditions tonight, but you do not sign it until DEP's number and comments have been received.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded for Zero Progress Ave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I believe that's everything, correct?
Do we have to sign anything besides the Progress Ave?
Think just that
We're
one.
not even signing Progress Ave.
I mean Pierpont. We did Pierpont's right here.
Right, that's the
It's
only
the
one we
only
can
one,
sign.
okay. And we did the minutes, so we're,
And we did the minutes, all right. Someone make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good night.
Night, guys. George, I'll let you know I'm going out.
It's at what time?